Welcome in this new video. My name is Jullian and I am the co-founder and CEO of Elite Chef Academy. And in today's training, we're going to talk about the technical skills and qualification needed to become a successful private chef. But before we even start, I'd like to give a first disclaimer if you think that you might not have made it yet. In my career, I met successful private chefs who never went to culinary school. They didn't have any fine dining or stars Michelin experience, and for some of them, they didn't even work in a restaurant before. They were not chefs at all by trade. And the reason why is simple. You can still cook well, chop vegetables, make delicious sauces, bake cakes, have a huge variety of different cuisine, have certain approach around dietary restrictions, nutrition, and menu planning without being a 3 stars Michelin chef. Suppose that that's your case though, and you have this experience and you really recognize yourself as a talented and technical chef. That is amazing. Use it, keep it, because this most likely gonna be your signature. But if you're not, you can and you will become a successful private chef. Point number 2, certification and formal training. Personally, never went to culinary school. I had a pastry certifications when I was 15 years old, and that's it. Same with food and health certifications as a food health safety certification. If you have them, that is amazing. If you don't, you are okay. It's not a requirement. If you don't check that box, you still can be successful. Any additional certifications are always good to have, like nutrition and yachting. The more you have, the better. But again, I don't want you to think that this is going to make everything, because there are much more important skill set that you'll need to learn that we're going to go over in those trainings that you need in order for you to really become successful. And this is not about having certifications. When it comes down to yachting, I never worked on the yachts before. I just know that you're most likely going to need the certifications. It's a few days. It costs a few $1,000s. Unless you already work with that specific client, they know you, and they don't really mind you not having the, it's more for the safety that anything else, or if they have a control or something like this. So if you never met the client, you know that they ask for the certifications. If they know you, they might not ask it for you, okay? But I was not too much of, I didn't really want to get into yachts because I knew that I had to go for a month and I didn't really want to do this. Anyway, that's personal. Point number 3, business and organizational skills. You need to be comfortable with time management, organization, and multitasking, especially because you're going to be alone most of the time, in charge of money customization, grocery shopping, and meal prep. Keep in mind also that some clients will want to make sure that you know how to manage a budget, especially big families at events. And you also, for those big families or for events, will have to take care of the staff. I was working for a family full time where there were 2 to 3 staff members on a daily basis full time that I had to cook for. Okay, so I mean, again, if you're a chef, you know what I'm talking about because we cook for staff, right? But you need to keep that in mind, because when we chefs and we cook for staff, I mean, unless you work alone in a restaurant in the kitchen, there's always a few person in the kitchen in charge of different things. Here, you're most likely gonna be alone. Okay, so you need to be really, really organized. And we're gonna get deep into how to be more organized and everything. That's not the point, but today we're just gonna go over this. Technical equipments and tools. In the beginning, I wouldn't bother too much with that. Personally, the more you have, the better. But as an example, I started only with knives. I had a couple of them. I had maybe $1,000, maybe $1,500 worth of knives, because I mean I was a chef already for 7 years, so I had this. But if you're really just getting started, investing $300 in 2 Japanese knives and you be good to go. Because personally, again, I ended my career working full-time for only one family. Everything I needed was either in the house or provided by my clients, meaning that they were just giving money for me to go and buy it. Other important point, an elite chef must be extremely adaptable to work in different kitchens with unfamiliar tools and unexpected situation. You're either gonna arrive in a client house the day to cook, and so you literally have no idea of what you have available, so you have to be really flexible. Or you met the client before, so you had kind of a look at the kitchen, but you know how it is, right? There's a huge difference between having a look at the kitchen and getting started and start cooking. There's always unexpected things that happen. So make sure to be prepared and to have and reach this level of flexibility, especially in the beginning. If you never went there before, I'll most likely, especially if it's like that's a long-term client, do something easy in the beginning, at least for like the first 1 or 2 days, before getting too technical and too sophisticated. If if the condition of the environment are not allowing you to do so, if that kind of makes sense. The more systemized you are, the better. Working with digital tools for scheduling your day, tracking your budget, your menu, and all the communication you have with your clients and with your staff will make you feel more organized and so look more professional. Point number 5, client relationship. Client relationship management and personal skills. Like in any relationship, communication is key, but also the way that you act daily. I used to work for a family where the husband was literally working in the kitchen with me every single day. And the kitchen was really small, so he was literally like in my back. The kids were doing their homework there too. They were doing the homework in the living room, but the living room was to pretty close to the kitchen. And if you don't know how to do that yet, you have to learn how to be a good company, aka a cool friend to be around. You need to be patient, you need to be quiet, willing to listen and ask valuable questions and needs, having humor, general knowledge about everything and anything. When you have conversations with those people, they need to feel like they're having a good time with you. I'm not saying, again, like, remember one thing: those people are really busy, you're also really busy. The time is the most valuable asset they have, so you're not there to like talk with them all day. I'm just saying the minimum you talk should be extremely valuable. Otherwise, you don't say anything. Every 6 to 8 weeks, I'm thinking about something I want to add it. As the same goes to how you behave, right? I've talked about the way that you communicate, but also how you act daily in the kitchen. If the owner, the husband, could go in the kitchen next to me, literally like next to me, working on his computer, that means I was extremely quiet. And I don't know for some of you, but in the kitchen sometimes you not that quiet. When you're moving pans, when you're lifting stuff, when I don't know, you're singing, whatever, that cannot happen in this kind of environment, especially if there are people busy next to you working on, really important and heavy projects. Every 6 to 8 weeks, I will sit with my client and ask for feedback on anything about me, my cuisine, the variety of it, how I conduct myself inside of their house with the children, their stuff, their friends, but also about personal stuff too. My last full-time client was my first ever mentor. I had mentor in kitchen before, obviously, like head chefs, but it was the first time that I was making that transition from, having a mentor that teach me about everything about cooking to everything about business and about how to conduct and how to grow a business, but also how to grow myself as a person to be able to grow my business. That kind of makes sense. Okay. One thing that tremendously helped me was to be curious about anything in life and develop myself as a human, not only as a chef. Not only as a chef. I traveled a lot, learned new languages. I speak 3 languages fluently, read a lot of books, met all sorts of different people, go out, listen music, go to events, meditate. I understood that everything that I was doing outside of the kitchen was the thing that was helping me the most inside of the kitchen when I needed to be more creative. And being more creative doesn't mean that you use creativity to create dishes. Like creativity, especially when you run a business, can materialize in many different aspects, not just creating dishes. Conclusion: client relationship, organization, and a deep desire to strive for more, and by far the most important technical skills you need as an elite chef. Remember that if people want a 3 stars Michelin experience, they can just go there and have this experience. They don't need you. What I see being the most valuable assets as an elite chef can provide are time saving, discretion, and being a good, happy person to be around. So Remember, that is the reason, that is the problem that you solve. The problem that you solve is free up, free up those people time, providing a lot of discretion. What I mean by discretion is that they don't need to go out and show themselves to the supermarket or to the bakery or going to restaurants. Or you know what I'm saying? This is the level of discretion they need. So they can actually focus on high paying task that helps them to either grow the business or build healthy and strong bonds with the family. Okay. Wealthy people like you and me sometimes, and they also like to eat a bolognese pasta or lasagna and have a chocolate mousse for dessert.